Welcome to Wanted Down Under, the show that takes the British family and catapults them 10,000 miles across the world to taste the Aussie lifestyle. Facing the biggest decision of their lives are painter-decorator Chris Guy and his family from Bournemouth. We're giving them just 1 week to choose between the UK and a new life down under. Chris and Judith are looking for their ideal home. But to move, they've got to convince their 15-year-old daughter, Lucy.
They're trying to convince me it would be a better life, but I have a good life here.
Can a dip in the Aussie surf change her mind?
When Lucy came out of the sea, she said, oh, she'd like a surfboard for Christmas. So we must be halfway there.
And Lucy isn't the only problem. They still don't know if they really can afford the Australian dream.
It's as hard here to get on the ladder as it is in England.
We don't want to come over and just struggle. There'll be no point coming then.
So what happened when the Guy family were wanted down under? Australia's current skills shortage means it's just got a lot easier to move down under if you're under 45 and got a talent that's in demand. We've put 20 British families to the ultimate test. They'll have just 1 week to try out life in Australia. They'll have to find out everything they can about home, work and lifestyle before putting their future to the vote. Do they stay in the UK or move to Australia? As a self-employed painter and decorator, Chris often struggles to earn more than £18,000 a year.
The winter months in England aren't very good. Everybody, not just myself, everybody struggles to get work. We're all trying to get that one job to keep ourselves going through, especially the Christmas period as well. And it is a hard struggle. With soaring house prices in the UK, the Guys have been unable to get on the property ladder and rent their family home in Bournemouth. To help pay the bills, they share their 3-bedroom house with foreign language students, adding to Judith's workload. I mean, she leaves here at 8 in the morning, she takes the kids to school, then she goes to work herself, and by the time she's got home, then it's preparing the dinner, and then if the students are here for dinner as well, then it's an extra 2 or 3 dinners to make. That's why we need the break.
Hopefully I'll work more full-time and I won't have to have students, because I find them, although a lot of the time they're pleasant, it is quite a bind.
In the Guy household, things are stretched to the limit. Not only are they letting out their dining room, even the children have to make sacrifices.
During the summer, we've let out Alex's room because the schools need an extra room, and Alex then moves in with us. He doesn't mind.
Alex has got other things on his mind, like inheriting his father's passion.
I play golf every Saturday. I play for the juniors and I've got my own handicap, which is 29.
And he's made an impressive start, hitting the headlines with a hole-in-one.
My dad's bought me a golf bag and I was put in the newspaper.
There are plenty of opportunities to play in the Aussie sunshine, and lower house prices should mean a chance to get on the property ladder, but there's just one snag.
Dad's always like, oh, every day will be sun, every day go on the beach. I don't want to go on the beach every day, it'll get really boring.
Lucy's the problem that she does not want to go.
I don't see why the life over there is so different over here. We have sun and beach, whatever.
There's another thing keeping Lucy here, her addiction. The Mighty Cherries, otherwise known as Bournemouth Football Club.
Lucy's just got into the football. How she got into it, I don't know. She came to watch a couple of games, she loved it, and she's taken it from there. She's addicted to it.
I go to Bournemouth play like every week, and I go to as many away games as I can. It's just like fall in love with it, if you know what I mean. You just can't stop going.
Mum and Dad will find it hard to entice Lucy away from Bournemouth and all it holds for her. They're hoping Australia will weave its magic.
We don't want to push it, we don't want to see anything that might backfire, and we're just trying to ease her into it. It's a difficult situation at the moment.
But Lucy realises it's make or break for her parents.
She knows what sort of life I've had with my work, and she knows the problems and the struggles we've had over the years, so I'm sure she'll accept that I'm going.
I'll try and make some new friends if I can. Probably won't fit in though, and I'll be really sad.
With the visa cut-off age at 45, for Chris, who's 43, moving to Oz is a race against time. To help them try to consider the pros and cons of a move, we've lined up 3 lifestyle options for the guys to choose from: life in the city, the coast, or the countryside. Once they've chosen, the whole family will put the Australian lifestyle to the test. But after just 1 week down under, they'll have to make the biggest decision they'll ever make: move to Australia or stay in the UK. It's a huge weight on their minds, so I've invited them to Australia House in London to show them the 3 different options. They've got to choose one of them to try out during their week in Oz. Guy family, welcome to Australia House. How many days now until you're off to Australia?
Just the 2.
2 days. Now, though you know that you're going to Australia, you don't know whereabouts. So I can tell you you're going to Western Australia. And I've got 3 options for you to look at. 3 different jobs and 3 very different lifestyles. So do you want to look at the first one?
Yes.
Lucy, I think this is one you may like. Who's going to hold it? You? OK. Just half an hour north of Perth, Clarkson is sandwiched between the countryside and the coast. It's got all the attractions of a bush setting, but still only 15 minutes from the beach. Part of Perth's growing urban sprawl, there's building work as far as the eye can see. Steve Cochrane is the owner of a commercial painting company, AJ Cochrane.
We're painters and decorators here in Perth, and we do a variety of work throughout the metropolitan area. Perth's experiencing a building boom at the moment, and we need people to come and join our team and be with us for a long period of time to fit into a good family-owned company. I believe that you enjoy a game of golf, and as long as your handicap is not too great, I'd enjoy having a couple of rounds with you here in Perth.
Steve lives in Naranda, an outer suburb of Perth. His home is typical of houses here, with sprawling patios and cool pools. So, in the country, you could expect to earn £300 a week. House prices might pinch a bit in this area, starting at around £200,000 for a 4-bedroom house. What did you feel about that?
Really good.
Yeah.
Excellent, yeah. The work there, it was good. It looked like the way they were actually working as well was very similar to over here as well.
Okay.
And the golf as well, and the weather is, yeah, bring it on.
So, how do you feel about that? Loads of golf, maybe?
Very excited.
Yeah? What about you, Lucy?
Golf is the most boring sport ever.
Oh, I was asking you about the sophisticated shopping, actually.
Oh yeah, that's good.
What else that came up on that film might you
I
dip
prefer
into?
Bournemouth Beach. Bournemouth Beach is the best.
And Judith?
The houses look nice with big open space and room to move around, and the beach look good.
So far we quite like that. Yeah?
I liked it,
Would you like to look at the next option?
yeah.
OK, Lucy, hit it. Option 2 is in trendy Mount Hawthorn, just 4 miles from Perth City. Simone Gillespie owns Essence Interiors, which subcontracts painters on a regular basis.
Some of the work that we do involves interior styling and consulting for clients, right down to full renovations of their homes and new homes as well. Also, there's a really big trend in wallpaper here in Perth, and wallpaperers are in short supply, so if you've got that skill, it will really come in handy.
Originally a working-class suburb built in the 1930s, life in Mount Hawthorn revolves around Lake Monga, a popular venue for family walks.
There's so much work for you here. I need painters and I need them now.
This job offers an annual salary of around £20,000. But with its close proximity to the city, family homes in the area are at a premium, starting at over £300,000. How did you feel about that generally?
I thought that was good as well, actually. A lot closer to the city. With the beaches obviously not so far away either, and obviously there's the lifestyle of the golf as well.
And Judith, what did you feel about that one?
The houses looked slightly smaller and more compact.
So you didn't fancy that quite as much?
No, option 1 looked better for the
OK.
housing.
What?
I thought it looked quite boring. It's like, ooh, let's walk around a lake. We're not going to go to Australia, the other side of the world, just to walk around a lake, are we?
Do you know what? I could feel your skin prickling. I thought, she's going to run out the door. Somebody lock the door. What about cycling with your family?
Oh, no, thank you.
Alex, what about you?
It looked very boring as well.
Oh, right. Would you like to look at the next option? Just because I want to see what you think of it. Hit that button, Lucy. Our final option is in Cottesloe, one of Perth's most popular beaches. Vince Radford is the owner of a new style company, the Property Presenters.
We've been going for 2 years now, Chris, and things are going fantastically well for us due to the Perth property boom. We do up to 5 jobs a week with a team of about 15 tradesmen working for us. I'd be looking forward to meeting you when you get here. We're always looking for skilled tradesmen to come and join our team. And when I'm not working, I like to take advantage of the great outdoor lifestyle that Perth offers. I like my diving, my bikes, and my wife Anne-Marie, she loves a golf. Enjoy the outdoor lifestyle like I do, and you'll love it here in Perth.
Vince lives in Highgate, a fashionable and lively area on the outskirts of the city. His home is a penthouse unit with spectacular views of the city skyline. Working for Vince, you could earn up to £400 a week, but property here is expensive. A 4-bedroom house within walking distance of the beach could cost over £450,000. What do you think, Judy?
Nothing against the city, it looks fine, but I think to visit there, to go and shops and everything, but to live there might be
You don't really fancy city life.
Hectic.
What about you, Lucy? I'm scared. Does it begin with B?
Yeah, bikes.
Oh, bikes.
Oh, I'm golfing again. Bikes are golfing again.
Don't think you have to play golf. So, Chris.
Yeah, the work sounded pretty good again. They're very busy, is what I want. The residential type of work as well, which is one of the other options gave me. Yeah, could probably maybe choose that one.
It's decision time, so which will it be? The country with plenty of work on commercial properties? The city working for an interior designer on upmarket domestic projects? Or the coast, where after a hard day's work, it's straight to the beach? OK, well, I have here 3 envelopes with the details of where you can stay and tickets. Which one's it going to be? 1, 2 or 3?
None of them.
1.
Don't say to me Faulkner, Lucy, please.
What do you reckon? Number 1?
Yeah,
number 1?
Number 1.
One?
Number 1.
OK, there you go. Listen, have a fantastic time, Lucy.
I'm sure she'll have a good time.
I'm sure you will too. Thank you very much.
Thanks, no. Thanks very much.
Chris and Judith have chosen to spend their life-changing week in Perth, but will it persuade them to spend the rest of their lives in Australia? Let's hope they're well rested. They've got a busy week ahead, but immediately they've got a problem. After a 20-hour flight, all they want is to get to their accommodation. But just one small thing. Chris forgot to book a hire car. Lucy's not impressed. Having tried every company with no luck, there's no choice but to grab a cab.
He said the taxi price of about $140 is about right because it's a Saturday, so we're back to square one.
At nearly £60, that's an expense Chris could do without. But with 2 children and all their luggage, there's no alternative. Chris has to bite the bullet and dig deep. After a discouraging start, the guys have sorted themselves out and are heading to their accommodation. They're renting a typical Aussie bungalow in Port Kennedy, south of Perth.
Wow, look at this for a house. Hey.
Yeah, that's
it's
nice.
Isn't it?
Lots of space. Cool. Yeah.
It's brand new.
Wow, this space.
God, look at the size of this.
Yeah.
It's a party room, isn't it? Look at it. An entertaining room, this is.
With 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms and a huge open-plan living area, this house has got it all.
I don't think much of the walls, the colour of the walls there, but there you go.
Well, almost all. What it does have is rooms, lots of them, including plenty of space for the kids.
Another double bedroom.
Look at that, eh?
You've got a pool view as well.
And you've got a pool view as well.
And to impress the teenagers, there's even a pool.
Look at that, Alex, eh? How new is this?
Look, you've got barbecue, Chris.
Oh, this is the bit where the man does the cooking, isn't it? The Barbie over here. It's
posh gas one,
nice,
isn't it?
Want to keep that one clean.
Far bigger than their house at home. All this, including the pool, costs £450 a month to rent, compared to the £840 they pay in Bournemouth.
The kitchen has loads of workspace and lots of cupboards and...
It's just the actual size of the plots. Everything in England seems to be more compact, doesn't it? It's what we expected. We expected a lot of space, but not quite like this. I think we could get used to this.
It's got a really big double bed, which is really good. I've never had a double bed before, so that's good. And I love the pool. It's really amazing.
This house would be ideal for us. It's got plenty of size and space.
Yeah, we're moving tomorrow. It's got everything we want.
Well, Chris and Judith love it. But what about our tricky teenager? Is Lucy convinced?
Australia hasn't won me over yet.
Well, no one said it was going to be easy, but Chris and Judith are optimistic this week will change her mind.
She's taken a bit of interest since we've been here. Said, oh, wow, look at this and look at that. So she still comes out with that she doesn't want to be here, but then, like I said before, she is that age.
I like the idea of having have a choice of where to live, but I want to live in Bournemouth, but I'm not going to have my mum and dad there, but I want to be with my mum and dad, so it's kind of a split decision. I don't know what to do.
Sounds like trouble ahead, but today they're going to look at houses they could afford. In Bournemouth, the guys rent a 3-bedroom house. With soaring prices, they haven't been able to get on the property ladder and therefore don't have any equity to take to Australia. So if they emigrate, they'd have to borrow all the money. They're looking at the lower end of the market. With this in mind, our first house is in Armadale, an older suburb half an hour inland, so less expensive than the coastal strip.
Nice to meet you, Mark.
I understand you're a painter decorator?
That's right, yes.
Okay, well, it's a renovator's delight. It's a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom home. It's about 30 years old. It's on from $305,000 to $315,000.
At £125,000, this house is a steal. With Chris's painting and decorating skills, he could give it a new lease of life and launch them onto the property ladder.
It does. It is very old-fashioned. It looks to us like it's more than 30 years old. What I've seen so far, it all needs ripping out completely and just leave the brickwork.
It's true, a bit of imagination is required with this house, but Chris is finding it hard to see beyond the decor.
That's another room to be ripped out and start again. They're small bedrooms, aren't they? But he's got a lot of gear in here, hasn't he? I mean, look at the size of these wardrobes and bookcases.
There's no built-in wardrobes, though.
No, no. This is the biggest room, really. It's not that big, is it? No, don't like the house, do you? I don't like the house inside because of what it looks like at the moment, but it could be ripped apart and started again. Oh, it's a big area out here, isn't it? Doesn't have a pool, no, not have a pool yet.
Well, you'd have room you could put a pool in.
A lot of hard work, a lot of money to be spent.
Daunted by the amount of work, it's hard for them to see beyond it. It's a huge place with bags of potential. There's room for a pool and more. It's a great long-term investment.
Nice sized plot, but that's about it at the moment.
I think this house is too far inland. It's too far to get to the beach, and it'll be a lot hotter in the summer with no sea breeze. Yeah, the land is a good size, but really sort of knock it all down and start again.
Well, I wouldn't come the other side of the world to live in this. I would be quite embarrassed to have my friends around, actually.
So, total honesty, guys, what did you think?
Personally, it needs a complete refurbish, everything taken out, redoing completely.
The major advantage with a corner block in this area is going forward that there will be changes to the actual residential zoning of the area. The zoning would allow you to maybe build a unit on the property, so if you were to remove the house and to put a second dwelling on, or to put two units on, or a duplex, the fact that it's a corner block and the access is available from both sides would obviously increase the value of the home.
This property may be a bargain, but it's far from their idea of the dream Aussie home. They're looking for a bigger, newer house closer to the coast. So next, we found them a place for just £25,000 more and only 5 minutes from the beach.
You're in Yangebuck, and this house is a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom house. It's very pretty, and it's got a great pool that's fenced off for the kids.
Yes,
so I love that.
At £152,000, it's in their price range, and with a swimming pool, it should even impress Lucy.
Not
Not too bad, is it?
That's enough room.
The main bedroom, I presume, I think it looks like it, double bed. Second or third bedroom. It's like a children's room at the moment.
It's quite a good size for third bedroom.
Not too bad, is it, for a third bedroom size? No. Okay, let's have a look at the outside and see what it's got to offer.
Being a newer house, they could move in straight away. It seems to be much more their style.
Loads of room, bit of lawn.
And steps up to a shed.
That's a nice little pool, isn't it? Yeah, it's in the sun, look. Sun's on it all day, I would think, most of the day anyway.
Yeah, because it goes around that way.
You can feel the breeze a lot more up here, though, can't you? Now we're up like level with the roof, aren't we, nearly? And if you look back down here, you can see how much room you've actually got, can't you?
It's a huge area without that.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. Funny how there's a lot more room outside again than there is inside, isn't there? You still have all this and that as a garden, wouldn't you, in the pool, even if you built out here.
Yeah.
And this, you still have a carport. You could bring this area right out here.
Well, they're sounding enthusiastic. Chris seems to be much more inspired by this property. What about the rest of the family?
I like it. It's much closer to the beach than the last house we saw. And it's got a pool, which is an advantage as well. Much newer. More or less got enough room. It's just having enough space for a guest. Possibly at the moment you could use the room where you come into, and then in time maybe convert the carport.
Much, much better than the last one. The last one isn't livable as far as I'm concerned. I don't know anyone who can live in that. Definitely not worth the money that it was. But this one, yeah, it's okay. We could do something a little bit bigger, but for our budget, it's ideal.
You being a plasterer, a painter?
Painter and decorator, yeah.
Decorator? Oh, well, I mean, you don't have to get a neat, tidy place. You can get a bigger place so that you can paint it.
I don't get paid to work at home. I don't. This one gives us a better idea of what we're looking for. Yeah, it's getting there, isn't it?
And to look at a newer property.
We'd like to look at a newer property. Might have to up the budget a bit for it, but it might be able to be done, so it's just another option.
As requested, property number 3 is a brand new house. It's a display home in Secret Harbour, a designer's dream with all the leisure activities they could wish for on the doorstep.
Beautiful. Let's have a look inside then, eh?
This particular home is a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom. It has a central kitchen, a home theatre and alfresco. So if you'd like to take a brochure and go through and have a look.
Lovely, thank you.
And we can talk about some land options after you've been through.
OK, mate.
Thank you.
The house alone costs £70,000. Sounds like good value, but there's the catch. That doesn't include the land, which will cost another £100,000, or the finishing touches. All in all, the total cost is getting close to £180,000.
It's all very luxury, isn't it, Jude, eh? See yourself sleeping in here?
Huge shower. Oh, a double shower.
Double shower. We don't need one of them. Walking water is right here, isn't it? Yeah. What was this, a formal lounge?
It's a theatre room, did they?
It's a theatre room, is it?
Huge kitchen, that's good.
How nice is this, eh?
Yeah.
Slightly smaller, but obviously it's got a double bed in here, so takes up quite a bit of room. They are small baths, aren't they? Yeah, but the length of it, you'd have your feet hanging over the edge. Well, wouldn't they? Luce, would you think you'd like this room to sleep in? Have your bedroom in here?
Yeah, I love it. It's good size as well, and it's pink.
The way they build these houses, they have them in this one big lovely room you can spend, this is where you spend all the time, isn't it,
Yeah,
I think?
because you're sort of together, so the mother's not away in the kitchen on her own cooking. Your integrators are more...
Yeah, I do like it, I must admit. Whether I could afford it, it's another thing.
If you wanted a pool, there's enough room to put a pool
There's enough room for a pool out here, isn't there? Because obviously you don't have to have the garden in the middle. See yourself out here sunbathing, Luce? Or in a pool out here? Love it. Right, let's go and buy it then.
Chris and Judith are bowled over by this show home. Could it be because there'd be no work to do on it? But what about Lucy?
Yeah, it probably enticed me a little bit coming down, but only a little bit.
For us, I think it's ample. And there's guest room as well. Yeah, I think it's lovely. But I think you get what you pay for, I think.
Time to speak to the agent and find out exactly how much this house would cost. And crucially, could they afford it?
So what sort of price are we talking about for this sort of package?
On this set of land here with the house, you're looking at $470,000. So 170 for the house and 300 for the land. That is extremely close to the golf course and beaches. If we went 10 minutes down the road, you'd look at a place called Baldivis. The block of land there, you'd be starting price at $230.
For the land?
For the land. So that would be putting you in your budget of $400,000. Now that is only 10 minutes down the road and about 5 minutes inland, so not too far away.
However, Chris and Judith would have to borrow the whole amount, taking out a 100% mortgage. So how much would they need to earn to borrow £180,000?
A joint salary for $400,000, you'd be looking at anywhere between $75,000 to $80,000 per year, joint.
Right, okay.
That gives us something to work on.
As they calculate costs, the penny drops. To afford their dream home in Australia, they'd need to bring in a joint income of at least £32,000 a year. That's nearly twice what Chris currently earns.
I think in time it's something that we'd work towards, to have a new home and to have it built where we want it.
Yeah, definitely. I would think I'd like to work hard enough to be able to afford this sort of place.
It's been a long day and they've seen 3 very different houses, but it's the display home that's really impressed them. But it comes at a cost. Will this put them off? Will they vote for homes in Australia or in the UK?
OK, so the vote on the houses, England or Australia, is going to be Australia. Lucy, did you really vote Australia? You've amazed me. Why was that?
It's only because of the pools.
Oh, was it? You like the swimming pools, dear?
Yeah.
That's a pretty good excuse for me.
Chris and Judith have been impressed by the kind of places they've seen whilst house hunting. But how do you get a mortgage in Oz? Most Brits planning to move to Oz and buy a house will sell up and take their property's equity with them as a deposit. Murray Sebbs regularly advises new homeowners in Western Australia. So how much are we talking for an average house?
Median price in Western Australia at the moment is $450,000. Probably the sort of house that most people would want to buy is in the region of $550,000 to $600,000. That'd get you a nice 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom home in a nice suburb.
As always, there are lots of other things to pay for, like conveyancing and official state fees. And although Oz has some great bargains, particularly if you're prepared to do up an older property, don't forget about the stamp duty. And I should warn you, it's more than back home.
Western Australian stamp duty's on a sliding scale. For some home buyers, the first $250,000 is free, but you really can't buy much of a house for $250,000 these days.
But help is at hand for new buyers.
The Australian government subsidises first home buyers with a first homeowners grant of $7,000. To be eligible for that, neither party must have owned a house in Australia before. It should be a permanent resident or Australian citizen.
Although properties are still cheaper in Oz compared to the UK, don't expect a mansion when all you can afford is a bungalow. Half an hour south of Perth is the older settlement of Fremantle, or Freo as the locals call it. Eager to experience a bit of WA culture, our family wastes no time in sampling its famous cappuccino strip.
I think we might like the Barbie.
Yeah.
Put the feet up, it's been a long day.
But it's an early night. It's Alex's big day tomorrow.
Sunrise come every morning, bringing back the walk to the ground.
It's day 3 and time to get a feel of the Aussie lifestyle. And for Chris and Alex, that can only mean one thing: golf. But this being Australia, it's not just the bunkers they need to watch out for.
Hiya.
Hi, welcome to Secret Harbour.
My name's Chris.
I'm Roland. Nice to meet you, Chris. Yeah,
Hi.
just a couple of things before you go out the course, guys. We do have a snake problem around here, so I do recommend if you're going in the bush to find your golf ball, if you do see a snake out there, do not approach it.
Okay.
They're fairly venomous and will make you quite sick if you get
So
bit.
we bested our golf balls down the middle of the fairway then?
It's always advisable, yes.
Okay. Okay, see you, Jude. Bye.
While Judith and Lucy head to the shops to check out the prices, Chris and Alex hit the greens. Oops! But being one of the top public golf courses in Australia, it's guaranteed to test any golfer. As they head back to the clubhouse, let's hear how it compares to back home.
The difference with this course and what I'm used to playing in England for a public golf course, this is much, much better. You don't see public golf course like this. I think we paid about 53 Australian dollars. I think that's around about, it's under £20 in England, so that's for the two of us. What you get for the money is excellent.
Well, Chris is won over, but what do the rest of the family think of the lifestyle in Oz? Let's put it to the vote.
OK, the lifestyle's going to be...
Australia.
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 Brian, can you come out here, please?
Day 4 and time for Chris to don his overalls. Finding the right job is crucial, and it's expat Brian's job to show him the ropes. With the booming property market in WA, the building trades are in demand, and with year-round sunshine, there should be year-round work.
Trey, we go upstairs.
Okie dokie. It's a different train we use. If I'd done that at home, it would all fall out.
After some small talk, it's down to the nitty-gritty. There's a lot of work around in Perth, but is it the right sort?
Did you find it hard to get any work over here then, Brian, when you moved over 5 years ago?
No, there's
plenty of work around.
It's booming more now than it was when I first came.
Really?
Especially this area. I mean, just last night in the West Australian newspaper, there must have been about 20 to 25 painters advertised.
So, plenty of work, but what about the pay?
What sort of money do they earn over here in Australia?
Your take-home pay would be about $650
a week.
A week.
OK, so...
After all your stoppages.
Yeah, so that's around about £300? I think it's around about the £300 mark, isn't it? That's a little bit less than home, actually. But then you've got to weigh everything up, I think, with obviously the wages, the cost of living in Australia, and everything else you've got here as well.
Yeah.
Chris is putting a brave face on it, but the reality of the basic salary he'd be starting on is daunting. With Perth house prices on the up and the prospect of a hefty mortgage, he's having second thoughts about the whole thing. While Chris ponders his prospects, Judith goes to work on Lucy.
Live, baby, live. Now that the day is over, I got a new sensation.
They've only got 2 days left to try to win her over, so Judith's pulling out all the stops.
Lucy's always said she wanted to try surfing, so it's a good experience for her to see what it's like and something to think about for Australia. If she comes out, it'll give her something to do. If it's a sport they can enjoy together, then that's good.
I was a bit scared of the sharks, so it was like a scare earlier on in the week, but it was fine.
When Lucy came out of the sea, she said, oh, she'd like her surfboard for Christmas. So we must be halfway there.
Sounds promising, but can it replace Lucy's beloved football team?
No, nothing could replace FC Bournemouth.
Oh well, we tried. Meanwhile, back at work, Chris is coming to terms with the reality of a low salary.
So the wage I've been told today, I probably might have to work a little bit extra hours to make it up initially and see how we go that way.
So, is the Aussie dream really worth fighting for?
Are you getting the life that you expected, and you think I will as well, with a family?
At my age, I mean, I never expected that I would be as content as I am here. I never dreamt in a million years that I would end up my life with a farm and animals, and as well as work, and you know.
Have you ever been bitten by a redback, Brian?
Snakes I have to be careful of where I live. My wife's been bitten by a snake.
Really? Was that a bad bite, a dangerous snake?
Well, it was a carpet snake, which is just a python. So and I didn't want to kill it because they're a beautiful looking thing. Right. So I had to pick it up with a fork.
Oh, you done that? Oh, dear.
And it then curled around the thing, and it started coming up the handle.
Oh, God.
It's time to put work to the vote.
They seem to be doing pretty much the same as what I'm used to back at home. The weather is obviously a lot better. There's great opportunity for work out here. It's in demand for my trade, and so I think I'm going to have to go. Australia.
Chris and Judith Guy from Bournemouth are contemplating a life-changing move to the other side of the world in the hope of finding a better future. But their daughter Lucy has other ideas.
I don't see why the life over there is so different over here. We have sun and beach, whatever.
Lucy's the problem that she does not want to go.
They're trying to convince me it would be a better life, but I have a good life here.
After a tricky start in Australia, they fell in love with the rented accommodation.
Wow, this space.
God, look at the size of this.
Yeah.
This could be the party room, couldn't it? Look at it.
But weren't so impressed with the houses in their budget.
That's another room to be
ripped out
and start again.
And on seeing their dream house, reality hit home.
Yeah, I do like it, I must admit. Whether I could afford it, it's another thing.
This is not going to be an easy decision. Chris and Judith have voted for Australia for homes, lifestyle and work. But after discovering the low salary and Perth's rising house prices, their decision is going to get tougher. They're weary and still undecided, but it's the final day and Chris and Judith's last chance to try to change Lucy's mind. Counting on her love of the sea, they drag an ever-reluctant daughter off to Rottnest Island, a popular destination just 10 miles off the coast of Perth. Convincing Lucy of all that Australia has to offer is crucial to Chris and Judith's plans for a better life down under. At last, they found something she's impressed by. Could this be the turning point? Chris and Judith need to get Lucy on board for their dream to come true.
The snorkeling's really cool, it's really amazing. I saw loads of little fish and there's really big ones there. It's quite scary, you think a big fish is going to come up behind you and bite you or something.
She seems to be natural, she seems to pick it up on it straight away. I mean, we haven't even seen her do that, and she just went out there and dived under and loved it. And yeah, it looks like she's enjoyed it.
Yeah, I've always been a water person, and it's quite cool to be here and do more water things than you can do back in Bournemouth. So it's good.
I think she'll accept it, won't she? That she will come. She won't do anything that she's adamant that she's not going to come by, like running away or refusing to eat, or she will come.
Back at their rented house, the guys sit down as a family to reflect on their week in Oz. They've been impressed, but it's also thrown up lots of new problems. Perhaps the biggest shock has been the high cost of house prices in Perth. So, can they even afford to move here at all?
I've still got a few big things to decide. It's not a definite at the moment. I'm very unsure what I want to do.
It's as hard here to get on the ladder as it is in England.
We don't want to come over and just struggle. There'd be no point coming then. So we've got to work out a lot of financial things as well.
Well, I wouldn't refuse to come because I know they wouldn't want to go without me when I'm only 16. Because I know how much they want to move out here. I wouldn't do that and ruin their lives just because I want to stay in England.
Yeah, it's in the balance.
Their week here has really brought home to them what a huge step moving to Oz could be. To help them consider how much their choice would mean to their friends and family, we've recorded a collection of messages for them to watch. Having brought up the family in Bournemouth, the guys have made some lasting friendships there. If they moved to Australia, they'd be leaving not only Chris's golf partners and some close family friends, but also Lucy's soulmates.
Hi, Chris, Judith, and the kids. Hope all is going well out there. We're missing you here.
What else can I say? A delightful companion, a very competitive golfer. And if he goes to Australia, it'll be a sad loss in Australia's game.
Lucy's quite a mad person, actually. When you first meet her, she seems really quiet, but she's actually quite crazy. I think she's really different to most of the people you'll meet. She's really good at listening.
Chris will miss here. He will.
Judith's quite a keen darts player. And I know that she's in a darts team, and I guess she'll miss sort of meeting her darts friends and playing darts.
I think she's probably quite excited, but also not very happy about this move because she's got all her friends here, her favourite football team, so I know she'll miss that a lot. This year it's kind of really sunk in a bit, and you realise how much you'll just miss her, because I think the classroom will be a lot quieter without her.
I think Alex is more that he's just starting to make new friends at secondary school, so it's probably less difficult for him, although Alex may find it difficult because he's a little bit on the quiet side to make new friendships.
I think she's definitely the glue that holds like everyone together.
I hope that you're having a fantastic time and that Australia's turning out to be everything that you wanted it to be.
Now I'm really, really going to miss you, but I just hope that you find like some good friends.
Yeah, of course we've got to think about Lucy and her friends. That's another point for making a decision between England and Australia. I think it's quite hard to make new friends, isn't it? Still my closest friends, the friends I made at school.
Yeah, so you've got to start again, you've got to build your friendship circle all over again, whereas if you stay in Bournemouth, you already have friends, don't have to worry about trying to fit in or anything.
Yeah, it's going to be scary at the age of 15, 16, isn't it? Just starting out in life, who wouldn't be? We've all been there.
Our family have come to the end of their week down under. They've had an incredible time, but they still have to decide whether or not they could move here. It's time to put their thoughts to a final vote. Fed up with struggling to find work all year round in the UK, Chris hoped that moving to Australia would improve his work prospects.
Everybody, not just myself, everybody struggles to get work. We're all trying to get that one job to keep ourselves going.
Judith dreamed of a house of her own.
I hope I won't have to have students. It is quite a bind.
And Lucy just didn't want to go at all.
So kind of a split decision. I don't know what to do.
House hunting in Australia didn't exactly get off to a good start.
Well, I wouldn't come the other side of the world to live in this.
Finally, they did find their dream house.
Whether I could afford it, it's another thing.
But Chris found out he may not be able to earn enough to afford it.
I probably might have to work a little bit extra hours to make it up.
Lucy admitted the lifestyle could beat Bournemouth.
And the snorkeling's really cool, it's really amazing.
After a busy week, it's time to make a decision. Move to Australia or stay in the UK.
OK, the final vote, England or Australia. Our final vote is England.
Australia.
So, Lucy wasn't persuaded after all, but the real shock is Chris's vote for the UK, leaving the Guy family's future in Australia in doubt.
At the moment, it's too expensive. There's no point coming here with nothing and not having anything.
So, as the Guy family have discovered, Australia may have sunshine and an affordable lifestyle, but moving here might not be what you expect. So, after one of the toughest weeks of their lives, they're heading back to the UK to work out a future closer to home. Join us next time to see what happens when another British family have to decide if they want to make a new life down under.
Nick Knowles and the team continue their challenge to build a game reserve in Kenya tonight on BBC One. Mission Africa is at 8:30. And next this morning, more intrepid house hunters hit the auctions.